All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to talk about a tool that's a total game changer in the modern workplace, Microsoft Power BI. We're going on a little journey here, from what can feel like total data chaos to, hopefully, some crystal clarity.
So let me ask you a question. Do you ever feel like you're just drowning in data? You know the feeling staring at these endless spreadsheets, just hoping to find one little piece of information that actually matters? Yeah, you are definitely not alone.
For a lot of people, reporting feels exactly like this. It's this massive, overwhelming mountain of tasks. So let's meet our hero for this story, a guy named David. He's a budget manager at a company called Contoso. And every single year, he faces the exact same monster of a task. He has to collect dozens of different Excel files from managers all over the globe just to create one single budget presentation for his boss.
And this right here brings us to a problem I think we can all relate to: the spreadsheet struggle. Yeah, the source material really hits the nail on the head. It says, this is a daunting task, and one that David would like to streamline. I mean, think about it. He's buried in meetings, trying to figure out which version of which workbook is the final one, all while trying to piece together a clear picture. It's just so inefficient and, super frustrating. But what if there was a better way? What if there was a kind of magic tool to fix all this? Well, there is. Let's talk about Power BI. So, what is Power BI really? To put it simply, it's a business intelligence tool from Microsoft. Its entire reason for being is to take all that raw, messy data and transform it into meaningful insights, through these amazing interactive dashboards and reports. It's basically the answer to David's spreadsheet nightmare. So what makes it so special? Well, for starters, unlike a simple spreadsheet, Power BI can plug into hundreds of different data sources. We're talking Excel, SQL, you name it. And it creates these interactive live visuals, not just boring static charts. Plus, it's all in the cloud, so sharing and collaborating is a breeze. And maybe the biggest game changer of all, automated data refresh, which means your reports are always up to date without you having to do a single thing. Okay, so that all sounds pretty cool, but how does it actually work? Let's get into the weeds a little bit and break down the core workflow of Power BI. You can pretty much boil the whole process down to four main phases. First, you connect to your data. Second, you shape that data to clean it up and get it ready. Third, you model the data. This is where you teach it how to talk to itself. And finally, the fun part. You build your report with all the cool visuals. It's a clear, repeatable recipe. So those first two steps, connecting and shaping, that all happens inside this powerful engine called the Power Query Editor. Seriously, think of it like your prep station in a kitchen. This is where you do all the hard work before you start cooking. You're cleaning your data, getting rid of columns you don't need, fixing errors, basically getting all your ingredients ready for the main course. But honestly, the real magic, the thing that can make or break your entire report, is data modeling. This is the skeleton. It's the absolute backbone of your dashboard. This is where you build the logic that connects all your different pieces of data together. And the best way to do this uses a structure that sounds complicated but is actually incredibly simple. It's called a star schema. Just picture this. At the very center, you have your fact table. This holds all the numbers, the sales figures, the budget amounts. It's the what happened. And then, branching out from it like points on a star, you have your dimension tables. They give you all the context, the who, where, and when. Getting this right is the secret sauce for making your reports super fast and powerful. Okay, so your model is built, your skeleton is in place. Now you need to ask it some really smart questions. That's where DAX comes in. It stands for Data Analysis Expressions, and it's this huge library of functions, almost like formulas on steroids, that let you create what are called measures. If data modeling is the skeleton, then DAX is definitely the brain of Power BI. All right, so you've done the work. You've connected, you've shaped, you've modeled, and you've calculated. Now for the fun part, the big payoff. Let's see how we get from just having a bunch of data to having real, actual insight. And this says it all, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the before. That static, confusing spreadsheet. It's just a wall of numbers, you can't make heads or tails of it. And on the right, the after. A crystal clear, interactive dashboard where the insights just pop right out. It is a total transformation. So what can you really do with this stuff? I mean, the sky's the limit. Think about it. You can actually start to predict which customers might be about to leave. You can finally see if your marketing campaigns are actually working. You can track sales performance against targets in real time.
This isn't just about making things look pretty. This is about getting answers to really important business problems.
So let's bring all of this back to you, because this whole process we've been talking about, this whole story, it's really about where your own data journey begins. And look, let's be real, learning any new skill, especially something like Power BI, is a journey. We all imagine it's going to be a straight shot to the top, right? But the reality is usually a lot more like this, a gradual, steady climb. So it's super important to just set some realistic expectations from the get-go.
And I absolutely love this idea here, the power of compounding. It might not feel like you're doing much on day 1 or day 2. You're just adding these tiny little drops of knowledge. But if you stick with it, if you stay consistent, those drops start to fill a bucket. And a year from now, you'll look back and just be amazed at what you've built.
When you first start out, yeah, it can definitely feel like you're trying to push this giant boulder up a hill. The whole thing just seems massive. But when you get the right tool in your hands, like Power BI, it's like that boulder just starts to shrink. And before you know it, you're not even pushing it anymore. You're juggling insights like it's second nature.
And that really brings us to the most important thought of all. Every bit of data you have, from the tiniest spreadsheet to the biggest database, it's trying to tell you a story. So the only real question left is, are you ready to listen?